What is up, guys and ladies, if you're listening? Welcome back to the Relationships Made Simple for Men podcast with me, Bryce Bauer. Just two housekeeping items today. I just announced my next men's retreat in St. George, Utah. It will be September 12th to 15th, 2025. Spots are limited. I like to keep them pretty small, so 12 is the max. We do a mix of meditation training, men's groups. We will do a cold plunge and sauna experience, some breath work, and there will be plenty of time to hang out and play pickleball or sand volleyball or read or swim. We're at a resort, so it's a lot of fun, really nice house, really good group of guys. So if you're interested in that, you can email me at bryce@brycebauer.com. And I also have the men's group still running. Most of the guys that go to the retreats are in the men's group. We meet Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time online. So if you want to get signed up for that, you can also email me. And now let's get to business. What do you do if you're in a situation where your wife no longer likes you? Maybe you made a big mistake or a lot of small mistakes, or you have no clue why she doesn't like you or want to be around you. Either way, this sucks. When the person that you want to be the most close to doesn't want to be around you, and you can feel the tension in the air in the house, this stress is probably going to seep into all the areas of your life because it's in your mind, it's in your body. It can be hard to think, it can be hard to eat, it can be hard to take care of yourself, get to the gym. Conversations can be hard. You can feel like you're walking on eggshells in your own home. You can be confused. Divorce might be on the table, so you're needing to think about that. You're trying to manage your life still, and every interaction can be painful. You don't know what moves to make. You don't know if you should be more loving or give more space. You might be trying to get more information about what's going on, but she doesn't want to give it. She's overwhelmed or pissed or sad. If this is your situation right now, I feel for you. But this is not the time to mope around and give up. This is the time to get to work. And I don't mean physically. There might be some things that you need to do to step up. I'm talking about emotionally. Now is the time to step up and learn what's really going on. And because I want to keep it really simple with you guys and get to the root of the problem, the first thing we have to do is an assessment. So the question I want to pose to you is, why do you think she doesn't like you right now? And I'd even recommend taking some time to sit and reflect on this and write it down. What did you do or not do? Did you cheat? Did you lie? Were you neglectful? Did you continually walk away? Did you blame? Did you yell? Did you throw things? Did you ignore? Did you continually shut down the idea of getting help? Whatever it is, just write it down. And this also helps us understand things better when we put it on paper, because we do have to take the time to reflect and we have something to see and turn back to if we get confused again. And I know there might be reasons why you did what you did, but start by just thinking about you and your reactions. And if you can't come up with anything, which seems unlikely, you can just say, I don't know. And maybe as you listen to this, you'll get some more ideas. It could be possible that none of this has anything to do with you. And I'll cover some of those, but again, highly unlikely. Next thing I'd want you to do is to think about what you've been willing to put up with in this relationship. And I don't mean from her. I mean, what level of connection and distress and dysfunction have you been willing to live in, and for how long? And this is a very important piece that probably doesn't get looked at enough, because it's easier to take the powerless position and say, well, this is all about her, or this is caused by some other factor like my job or the kids, than it is to look at the vehicle you've been riding around in, because that's a choice that you're making. And we can even use the car analogy, because if every morning you get up and you get in your dirty car that breaks down all the time and you complain about it and you don't like to drive it, but you don't do anything to fix it or clean it, that choice is on you. And cars are a lot like relationships. You don't just buy a car and then it's good forever. Relationships also require maintenance. They break down when you don't take care of them. And sometimes things happen. You hit a pothole. That needs to get fixed. If you spill something, that needs to get cleaned up. You leave old food in the car, it's going to smell. And sometimes you might not even know where the smell is coming from or what's going on with the car. So you have to get out and check it out or go into a professional and have them assess it. I say this to a lot of the guys that I work with when they come in and they're just telling me how impossible their wife is. And I'm like, why did you choose this woman? Why are you still choosing this woman? If she's so bad, really, why have you stayed in it this long? And that's not to encourage them to separate. It's to get them to take responsibility for the choice that they're making, staying in a relationship that might not be feeling good for years, not doing anything about it. And you may be on the other side of this experience where your wife has stayed in a relationship that she really hasn't enjoyed for years, and now she's done, or she wants to see serious change from you. And this is your first wake-up call that this relational vehicle you have is not in good shape. And that can be really jarring. And you might not know if the cost to fix it is worth it or if you're capable. But one framework that I'd want you to adopt, working on yourself, healing yourself, learning how to manage your emotions, waking up more, that work is never lost. That work is never a waste of time. And if you're doing this work just so you can get an outcome, it's conditional, like you want your wife to have sex with you again, so you'll go to therapy or you'll read the book or listen to the podcast, that's not really doing the work. You have to do it for you. And I think that people are really, really smart. Their intuition is sharp. Like we know things even when we're not totally sure of them, we just feel them. And I think our partners can feel when we are doing things conditionally, when we're doing things because it's authentic. And the conditions are really a way to manipulate. You're trying to figure out what's the bare minimum I have to do to get X result. And that doesn't feel good in a relationship because your partner becomes the one that has to bring things to your attention, kind of set you up for success, and then be the decider of how well you did. They need to be kind of like the parent or the teacher. And that's a weight that they carry. When I talk about emotional weight in a relationship, it has a lot to do with how informed we are, how well we're tracking things that need to happen emotionally and physically. And putting our attention on this is the way that we help carry this weight together. You think about if you were partners in a company and one partner was always asking the other one what they need to do. I talk about this in my book. Eventually, you'd probably be like, dude, you need to figure it out. You can't keep coming to me and ask me what you need to do. You need to take some initiative, try things. That's how we learn. Try new things, grow, push yourself. Don't just keep coming to me and asking if this is enough. That's not fair. That's not balanced. And sometimes guys will get into this dynamic with their partners. And it can be a blind spot because if you're like, no, I ask what they need and then I try to do it. That's really an easier position to be in because you don't have to think about it. All that mental tracking is on them. So hopefully that makes sense. The next thing that I want to talk about is what if your wife says she wants space? And it might not be because she doesn't like you. I know that's kind of a surface term, or because she doesn't love you, because I'm guessing she does. But she is just so overwhelmed by the dynamic in your relationship that she doesn't want to put attention to it. When women get burned out, they go here. And if you're just showing up to the game, this can be confusing because you're like, okay, now I'm ready to go. Maybe separation or divorce is on the table. You're like, all right, I'll do whatever it takes. But she's like, I'm kind of half out or unsure and I just want space. That leaves you in a weird position, right? And there's one fantasy that I want to break down because I don't think it really holds much water. And that is the story that we need to fight for our partners. In my opinion, that is misguided advice. Why? Because I don't think that anyone should have to fight for someone to be in a relationship with them. You don't have to be in the doghouse. You don't have to prove your worth to somebody. And someone who says that you need to fight for me probably doesn't understand relationships. Now, I get that there is an internal fight, an internal struggle that we must go through to show up and be the best version of ourselves that we can be. And if we want to be in a long-term relationship, getting informed on how relationships work and attachment and feelings work is going to be really important. But I wouldn't put that much power in someone else's hands. At a very basic level, what we do is show up as best we can, and then we see if our partner is buying what we're selling. That's it. If they think they're getting a good deal with us, they're going to want to lean in. If they think they're not getting a good deal, they're going to lean away. And over time, this can change. Maybe what you presented at the beginning of the relationship is not what you're following through on today. Maybe you're not as attentive. Maybe you're not as loving or cuddly or affectionate. Maybe you are more defensive. You get triggered more easily. You're irritable. You're stressed. That might not be what she signed up for and what she wants. So we need to think about that. And this has nothing to do with our worth. Everyone is worthy of love. But if we're not giving to the relationship, if we're slacking, of course she's going to want to look for a better situation. And we can't blame our partners for that. That's human behavior. It makes sense. And I'm not saying that if you don't feel like what you're getting is enough, that you just turn and bail, because I think you're probably going to create the same situation with somebody else and maybe create a lot of destruction in the process. I personally think that there's a lot of value in staying with the relationship that you started, that you've put years into, and seeing what's possible there. But we have to understand that our partner is in the same position. And the worst thing that you can do if your partner is feeling hurt and neglected and confused by what's happening in your relationship is to blame them for it, because odds are their behavior makes sense. And so if your partner wants space, my advice to you would be to give it to them and not try to push back against that. And odds are that they're scared. And when an animal is scared and they want to kind of back away, and you come in and maybe you try to grab them or hold them or pet them or whatever, and they keep leaning away from you, pay attention to that. They might not want you to comfort them right now. And we have to accept that that might be a result of our actions or inactions. The move is to continue to work on yourself. And I mean reading, listening, journaling, meditating, going to therapy, doing group work, building community, taking care of your health, watching what you eat, sleep hygiene. Those are the things that are going to fuel your tank so that you can show up better and better for whatever interactions you have with your partner. And whatever you do, be nice. I know I have to remind guys to do this sometimes, but just be nice. This is first grade wisdom. Just because something doesn't feel good for you or you don't understand it doesn't mean you need to be mean. Ever. So get rid of the tone, get rid of the blame, and learn how to be a decent human being. And you're a grown-ass man, so hold yourself. If you need to cry and your partner's not available, you got to find someone to cry with. You got to find someone to talk to. If you're continually collapsing into a puddle around your partner, that's probably not going to help either, because they want to know that you can take care of yourself too. We have to take care of ourselves before we can take care of someone else. So if you can't even take care of yourself, think about it. She's watching. She's like, well, how is he going to take care of me? He can't even take care of himself. And I don't mean that having a big cry means you're not taking care of yourself. This is more energetic. We have to find our backbone. We have to be able to stay grounded and hold ourselves while also feeling into whatever's coming up for us. And that can take some time and practice. And I don't have a crystal ball. I can never tell anyone if their wife is going to want to be in a relationship with them again. I can only tell them what the best path forward is. And it's to understand why, to get informed on what's going on with you, why it's made it so hard for you to show up in the way that your wife wants, and to balance yourself out so you're not going up into blame and looking down on her, or just collapsing and needing to be rescued. And the ability to do that, to stay more grounded and balanced, comes from understanding ourselves more and learning more tools to work with our inner narrative, to hold space for our own emotions, to have compassion for ourselves. And whenever we work with couples, we are assessing whether or not they can do couples work based on how stable they are as individuals, because two unstable individuals cannot do couples work. Or if there's one partner that's on the path, has been on the path, and the other one's just kind of dipping their toe in it, usually they need to do individual work first. You have to earn your right to do couples work. Some people don't get this. They think that, hey, maybe they'll just show up, they'll talk to Bryce and Jenny, and they'll fix things. And we understand that it does take a certain level of skill and awareness and willingness for couples to succeed in doing couples work. And maybe that's helpful for you out there if you're wishing that your partner would do couples work and they're not open to it. That's actually going to save you some time, because if they're not open to it or they're not ready, it's probably not going to work. Both people need to be ready to do it and willing. And just a little background on how I think about doing these podcasts. A lot of times I just jump on and start talking. So this seemed like a really important topic and experience to cover. I hope this was helpful. And guys, if you need a group, if you need friends, if you need someone to talk to, there is a community here. All you have to do is email me. I have options that are really affordable so that everyone can join who really wants to jump into this work. And that's all I have for today. Peace.